Why should you choose Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City? Why wouldn't you choose them? At Nolf, their sales are speedy and include upfront and straightforward pricing. If it's service and parts you're after, they have skilled technicians who are factory trained while offering knowledgeable parts experts. Maybe you need Nolf's full service body shop offering top quality collision repair to all makes and models of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Or do you want to cruise the highway in a clean, shiny vehicle thanks to Nolf's detailing service? No matter your needs, Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City is there for you. Find out more at nolfchryslerdodge.com. Good afternoon, good evening. In that kind of in-between time here, I'm Chris Rossetti. I'm alongside Andy Byers and Ronnie Geist. We're here at Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City for another edition of Nolf Bites, the show that bites, where we talk about a little football, a little bit of how football works, maybe some other stuff along the way, some pizza, best places to eat, Andy and his driving adventures to games, whatever might come up.
That's got to get expensive.
He didn't get a ticket this time. They just pulled him over, but the guy was nice and realized he was going to the game and said, "Hey, you can go to the game." He's just got to keep him south of the St. Mary's area. It seems like every time you go north of St. Mary's, you get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there.
Maybe
a lot of police officers.
Maybe it's good luck. Wyatt scores a touchdown, you get pulled over. Try it next week.
Yeah, we'll try it again, I guess.
Yeah, how exciting was it in the Byers household this weekend after Wyatt picked up not only a touchdown but an interception as well? I thought Coach Gold made a really nice post on Facebook, and then I stole some of that for a story that I'm doing for the Clarion News about Wyatt there and the hard work he's put in, and how maybe he's the kind of kid that helps I'm not saying this, Andy, because he's your kid. I'm saying this because he's the kind of kid that you need in every football program, where maybe things don't go the way that he wants it to go his freshman year, his sophomore year, his junior year, but just keeps working and working and working. And, that hard work sometimes pays off. And sometimes you're not going to be on the field early in your career. Sometimes it's not going to go the way that you want it to go. But sometimes if you stick with it and you continue to work and you continue to do things, good things come to those kids. And I think a lot of kids would have quit in those situations. So tip of my hat to Wyatt for staying with it. And eventually, he got to have that experience that he had on Friday night.
Yeah, I think he's kind of been in a unique situation as a freshman. The last few years, the team's been so talented. I mean, we have 4, 5, 6 receivers that could be playing on other teams sitting on the benches. And then his sophomore year, he broke his leg, so he was out that entire season. Actually never even got started. It happened prior to the season. And then again, last year, we had a pretty talented team. I think, what'd you guys lose? Two games, and we played in the district championship, so he didn't get much of a shot there. So this year, he's getting some playing time, which is good.
I think that's the beauty of small school football. You get those kids, you just kind of coach them along, keep them in the program. They keep learning, they keep evolving. And, Wyatt's proof that if you keep working hard, do what you're told, do what you're asked, there's a spot and a time to shine. And he did that Friday night for sure.
Yeah. And we're using him as the example, but man, there are kids like that all over the place. And there really are what continues to help drive the engine, so to speak, of the football world, of the high school football world. And, it's a good example to use for some of those younger kids that might feel frustrated that they're not playing right now. And I think it's a good lesson for the parents as well. I'm not going to mention schools or whatever, but I heard a story over the weekend of, a football coach needing to have, and this was in District 9, needing to have, maybe the police officers come and help them out of the stadium because there were parents there that were mad that their kid didn't play. I mean, we need to get a hold of this at some point. I mean, this is stupid. This is high school football, and let's be honest, around here, it's small school high school football. It's the very nobody's going to the NFL. I mean, we have good kids and all that, but we don't have NFL prospects in District 9. Maybe in District 10, there might be one or two, but in most District 10 schools, there aren't NFL prospects either. And so when you start to hear parents hanging around and coaches not feeling safe to go to their cars, coaches who are making a couple $1,000s or, maybe even $10,000, man, what are we doing as a society?
I've been around coaching a long time, and we were, me and another coach were talking about this on the ride. And I'm not saying that kids don't play, but there's not a coach out there that has an issue with a parent. But anywhere I've ever coached, no one I've ever coached with that I feel like it was a personal matter. I mean, generally speaking, as a coach, we're all there for we love the game. The kids keep us young. Selfishly, we like to compete, but, for someone to take it to that level in that point, like, one time I've always heard, like, if you wait 24 hours and you're still upset, then we can have a conversation. But generally people will calm down if they just let it simmer.
It is frustrating as a parent, though, if these examples of kids who have been in a program for 4 years, and, how it is now. Playing football isn't just seasonal football. These kids are picking up the extra time, going to summer league, everything that they can do to get on that field. And at the end of the day, athletically, some of them just don't make the cut of the 11 that are out there. And I can see where it's frustrating. And as a coach, you get to a competitive level. I don't know whether that you say that's the youth program, that's junior high, that's varsity, that's college. I don't know where you say winning's all that matters or where you don't. And it's always a fine line you're walking, trying to, do what you can to get them kids in. And, Red Bank's game against Bradford the other day was maybe a good example. Whenever you got a lead like that and you can get an opportunity to get some of them kids in, you do that. But on the flip side of that, and I don't know their situation, we talk this all the time because I've had kids that went through, and initially you wanted to get them in, but then is it fair to them kids that have put the time in that are only getting to play a half? And the other kids, if you have a pretty solid JV program, that's kind of their time then is the Monday nights or whatever in JV. So I think whether it's JV or you're getting them in on the varsity a little bit, like, as long as they're getting some game playing time, that's what really matters, I think.
I think and I get it from a parent's perspective that you get frustrated that your kid's not playing and all of that. But
rising to having the law enforcement have to back the coaches up, I don't think we ever need to get to that level.
No, it's just like that's the problem that I've got with it. Like, my gosh, I can't imagine being that mad at anything, let alone that mad at high school football, where I'm going to sit there to the point where a coach or coaches don't feel comfortable walking to their car. Like, society, didn't we talk about that? I feel like we talked about this, but maybe we didn't. Society's gotten really mean. Like, it happened. I want, it was always happening, but I feel like after COVID, society's gotten really, really mean. And I'm seeing it. I'm getting emails, and not going to mention names, but get emails all the time. Not all the time, but every once in a while you get an email. Why was your broadcast frozen? Why did your audio stop? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And it's like,
you ever give them a reason? Like, I just felt like that was a good time to stop the video.
Yeah, like you want to go. First of all, do you think I'm happy that like my audio cut out there when Drew had his interception? I didn't have audio. Do you think I did that on purpose? Like, I didn't do that on purpose. It wasn't part of the plan to say, I don't want audio.
Or maybe then people would donate you some additional funds.
Yeah, so I could like hire somebody to like be monitoring that 20, we talked a couple weeks ago, we talked about what my Friday night looks like, right?
I was going to bring that up.
So Ronnie, you had a really good opportunity because Ronnie was actually sitting close. Believe it or not, folks, Ronnie was closer to me on Friday night in the press box than he is to me right now. That's how little space is. Nobody's fault.
Nope.
Mike Erickson did a great job taking care of all of us up in Bradford. I don't want anybody to think
that's why Red Bank won, right?
Yeah. So like like Ronnie's actually the visiting coaches. How much room would you say I had? Like I had less room in Bradford than I have at this table right now.
Oh yeah,
to set up all my equipment, right? And so I'm broadcasting, but I'm also engineering the game. So all the commercials and having to watch to see if audio and video is all working and all that stuff. Plus I'm keeping stats, which I now know that Red Bank took because Blaine asked for my stats because you guys didn't have any stats. So all of that's going on, right? And people don't understand, like Larry Weiser's, getting a little bit of money, but not very much to broadcast with me. The camera guy is a guy last week was a guy by the name of Keith Boffman from Cameron County. Right now, he's just volunteering his time to help out. This isn't ESPN.
No, and the interesting part is, like, as the play's happening, he's calling it. And then, so let's just say it's a rush by number 4 for a gain of 10 yards. He's announcing it as he's typing it into the computer. And then when it's time for a commercial, he's clicking the button to run. I don't even know what all that stuff is. Boxes everywhere. It's pretty impressive.
Do you filter yourself knowing, like, Ronnie sitting beside you or one of the other coaches?
Not for 1 second.
No,
in fact, Jason asked them, "Hey, don't put that on the air."
This was the dumbest thing too. So Red Bank ran I think it was a 2-point conversion play. It was a 2-point conversion play that Red Bank ran. And it was brilliant, actually. In all honesty, like, so we're all used to the tush push right now, right?
Oh, I heard you on this one.
So we're all used to the
Philadelphia Eagles did something similar.
Yeah, so we're all used to the tush push. And so Braylon Wagner, the quarterback at Red Bank, lines up under center like they're going to do the tush push on the whole thing. And he rolls out and scores. And so everybody's committed to the
That was actually Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Jackson.
Okay, whoever was at quarterback. Sorry, I wasn't sure who was at QB at that point. But whoever's at QB lines up like they're going to take the tush push. And so everybody commits to stopping it, right? And instead, he rolls out and scores, and there's nobody. And I mean, it's a brilliant addition to a play that's already very difficult to stop, right? Now it's almost impossible to stop if you do that. And so I just said, hey, kudos to Jason Kundick there for that play call. That's really, really innovative on it, okay? I'm like, I haven't actually seen it. I hadn't seen the Eagles do it. So I hadn't actually seen it before like that. And then he says in between, like off the air, he says something like, that was all the quarterback. That's a read. So we come back. I'm like, hey, I just found out. Just wanted to credit that to the quarterback. That's a read. And he kind of was like, oh, I don't want that out there. And I'm actually on the air going, I don't think it makes a difference because it's the concept of the play, whether it's the QB calling it, whether it's the offensive coordinator, the head coach, whatever. It's the concept of it, right? And as a defensive coordinator, Ronnie, it really wouldn't matter who's calling it, right?
No,
Whether it's the quarterback or the coach or whatever. The idea is it's one more thing you have to defend.
Right.
So you were like, I want to discredit Jason.
Yeah. He wanted to discredit himself for the call.
And I wouldn't let him. I said that's why they call him the Wizard of the Wed Bank. It's for plays like that.
Larry and I were the whole time we're trying to figure out what, it's the tush push, but like what could Red Banks what could you call Red Banks? Got any thoughts on that, Ronnie?
A nickname for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The Wizard's Wedge.
Feed the dog.
Feed the dog.
Yeah, I guess.
Gonna feed the dog. They're in the feed the dog formation. I think that should become part of your guys' calls. Feed the dog. Feed the dog. Hut, hut. Feed the dog. Feed the dog.
Yeah.
And the call and the play call, if it's gonna roll out, it's gonna be feed the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog. Man, these shows go way off the rail. But no, I thought it was in it. Whether it's obviously it's in your playbook. Whether it's the quarterback that can audible to it, whether that's coming from the booth, whatever, it's a really innovative part of what that is. And I would suspect as we go along, especially teams that have mobile quarterbacks, you're going to start seeing that more and more with that formation too, just because.
Yeah, the Eagles did it. Theirs was a little variation. They actually turned around and handed it to a running back who went around the edge, but it was similar in the fashion of everybody was going up the middle.
I mean, everything's a copycat. So if it works for one, it works for the other. It's just a matter of having the right guys to do it and the right timing to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, look, that football's like the ultimate copycat league or sport in that regard. You know, that I think like that in basketball, I think you'll see a lot of teams copycat plays in basketball too. But you know, it's a unique way of doing it. Did either of you guys get up to watch the Steelers? I know you don't watch the Steelers, Ronnie.
No, I was awake. I watched a little bit of it, but not a lot.
I was on the road. I didn't.
He had what? How many games do you have this weekend?
I don't know. Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday, and we got a JV game tonight.
Just one game on Saturday and Sunday? Well, two
No,
games.
two. We were at Bradford Friday night, Montauk Saturday morning, Grove City Saturday night, Marietta, Ohio Sunday. So it was a traveling weekend.
How many miles did you put on this weekend?
I don't know. That's a lot.
Ooh.
I know I did clock to Bradford, to Montauk, to Grove City, to home, I think was almost 400. And I think I had nine or 10 hours in the vehicle. Of course, that's eating McDonald's, sitting still for a while and things like that. But
so from New Bethlehem, I don't know where you live, Andy, but from New Bethlehem to Marietta, Ohio is an extra 211 miles.
Yeah.
One way.
It was a haul down there.
3.5 hours.
Yep.
To play a football game.
Yep.
Oh, that's because that's where the JV game for W&J was.
Right.
That's right, for Drew. So that's a 7-hour trip. Oh, my gosh.
Do you think my kids will appreciate this one day?
No.
You don't think they'll ever think I'm glad my parents come to?
No.
No.
They're not even thinking about it.
Probably not.
They're just assuming that you'll be there.
They just want a meal out afterwards. And
Yeah, basically. I mean, holy cow, that's a lot of driving.
it was.
Where'd you guys? Well, Ronnie, since you didn't take the bus, since you never take the bus, what did you guys do to eat? Where'd you stop to eat on?
We didn't stop anywhere really. We just hit the gas station and grabbed something quick.
Which gas station you hit?
We hit the one in Marionville, and then in what do they call it? Lance's Corners. We stopped at Sheets. Yeah.
What about you? Did you stop anywhere to eat?
Sheets, McDonald's.
McDonald's in Bradford.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, which, well, I won't get into that.
Yeah, I was just
that's a slow McDonald's. If you better go 2 hours early to the game if you want to eat at McDonald's. Outside of that, and then check your bag before you pull away and make sure you have everything. So
didn't get it exactly the way you wanted it.
No.
Yeah.
I hate when they forget the barbecue sauce and they don't give you napkins. That drives me nuts.
The napkin thing is like a new phenomena for some reason where you don't get napkins. I don't get it. I don't like.
Someone smart probably calculated how much money you save. Not putting napkins.
Yeah. I hit McDonald's last night and I got some chicken nuggets and I wanted the new that newer like golden barbecue sauce or whatever it is. But I got a 20-piece nugget. That's why I'm fat. and so I asked for like 3 different sauces. I wanted the hot mustard, the sweet and sour, and I wanted that golden barbecue. I got 2 of the 3. I mean, that's a good. I got 2 of the 3.
Did you get that box meal? Because they had a box. It has 2 cheeseburgers, I think 2 medium fries, 20-piece nugget.
Ooh. No, I didn't get that.
$14. It was pretty
yeah, that would actually. I mean, I saw they're bringing back Monopoly.
That's the best.
Yeah, they're gonna have Monopoly back. I don't know why you ever gotten rid of Monopoly. Like, talk about stupid marketing thought processes. Yeah, they're bringing it back.
That's been a long time. When was the last time they did that?
Boy, I don't know. But you can play on the app now, and you can also do it. I guess you can get pieces off of the.
Do you use the app for McDonald's?
I do. I use the app a lot, which is, again, why I'm fat.
Now, why do they always ask you if you're going to use the app when you're sitting in the drive-thru?
Because if you've used the app, then, your order's already in, and they don't have to take your order.
So do you just give them a number?
Yeah, there's a code that comes up, like I think my code last night was XX19.
Oh,
don't ask me why I remembered that, but I remembered that code for whatever reason last night.
It's like you remember Ronnie's stats from 2001.
minus 900 yards. No, I'm just kidding, Ronnie. So Coach Weiser and I stopped at Texas Hot in Kane.
I've heard about that place.
Texas Hot and Kane is they got hot dogs with this like chili sauce on it. Oh, and then we got fries with gravy.
Speaking of Weiser, I snuck up before the game and talked to him a little bit, and just tried to pick his brain. And it was pretty awesome to stand there and listen to him tell me.
He said
What you're doing
It
wrong.
was 10 minutes. It wasn't even 10 minutes, was it? It was
No.
in between commercial breaks.
yeah, maybe
6
3
minutes, 4 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't know. But just to listen to him talk, like I could sit with that guy for.
Well, Ronnie, he
whole
said to
day.
let you know that, hey, like give him a call and sit down and
I
meet up
love
with him and sit down and he'll, you know, those guys were over there. They're doing football. If I know what they were talking about, they have blocking schemes and
Why don't you get him on the coaching staff?
I'd be cool. I'd take him. I'd love it. I'd just take him as a personal advisor.
he had said he wanted to talk to Coach Weiser, and I'm over there before the game, and Coach Gold's there and all that. And I'm like, you know, Coach, he wants to go talk to Coach Weiser. I think that, you know, it's you guys are sitting 2-3 right now or whatever it was before that game. And I'm like, I think he's looking to see if he can get Coach Weiser to apply for the head coaching job.
I mean, who's not going to take Coach Weiser as their head coach?
Blaine Gold.
That's true.
we tease Blaine. We tease. So there was actually some really exciting football over the weekend. We should probably talk about that a little bit. There were 3 games, I think, in District 9 that came down to the final 4 minutes. Brockway, did you guys see the end of the Brockway Keystone game?
Just heard. Didn't see it.
2-point conversion.
2-point conversion. It was probably stopped maybe a foot shy of the goal line. They allowed Brockway to win 19-18. Then on Saturday, Smethport almost upset Kane. They're up 22-20. Kane scores with 59 seconds to go to win that game. Eric Novosel with the game-winning touchdown. Eric's actually our player of the week this week because of his heroics in that game. They were down 22-14. They scored to make it 22-20. Jonah Gano, who's a really nice player for a team that's not great. Like, let's just be honest. Smethport's okay. And I'm not even sure they're okay. They are what they are right now. They're a program that's trying to come back, but
and they are. They look.
Yeah,
good.
they're getting better. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. This is Kane beat them 34-0 in the first week of the season. Now it's 26-22, right? Like, that's a massive improvement from week 1 to week 6. Give first-year head coach Ryan Yingling and his staff a lot of credit. That team is starting to really figure things out. I'll get to see them in a couple weeks at Union AC, and if I'm Union AC, I'm not looking past them at this point.
Right.
But this Jonah Gano is the real deal. He really is. He ran for 200 yards the other day. I don't care who you are and who you're playing. When you run for 200 yards, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
But he returns the kickoff after it was 22-20. Smethport still in the lead. He returns it to the 23-yard line of Kane. So now you're thinking, well, hey, they're in good shape, right? Give the Wolves a lot of credit. They come up. They only let up 5 yards on 4 downs. And they take over. They end up having to give the ball away on downs, but they get it back with about a little under 4 minutes to go. And they go like 60-some yards to get the game-winning touchdown with 59 seconds left. So that was a heck of a football game. And then maybe the surprise of the night, Port Allegany needed a Kellen Vio touchdown with like 3:48 to go to beat St. Mary's by 6. They were, I think, losing at the time when he scored that touchdown. What's interesting is last week they had a game. Hey, our buddy from Tynesta Builder Supply just walked in, one of our great sponsors. I'm doing well. How are you? I usually get to see him over at Tynesta Builder Supply. Tynesta Builder Supply, 2 locations in Tynesta and on top of the damn hill in Chippenville. And he's going to walk right in front of the camera now. Yep, there he is, right there in front of the camera.
hey, he's got to get in there.
The Schmaders are fantastic people. I'm not just saying it because he's sitting here looking at the car, but the Schmaders are fantastic people, big supporters of everything we do. Ronnie's going to get off here and go help him out here real quick, but you never know who's going to walk in here at Nolf Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Fairmont City, do you?
No, and he doesn't even realize the deal he's going to get here in a minute either, probably.
So Ronnie and Gary are going to go out and talk about a car, and Andy and I are going to keep talking about the show here. But to see Gary Schmader just walk in here, I mean, seriously, Tinesta Builders, Gary's son Christian, it's been just completely fantastic to the YDL Sports Network. So I'm glad to see that advertisers are supporting other advertisers down here.
Definitely.
You know, that's great to see, and sure, you're right. Probably going to get a great deal. Ronnie's going to sell him a really good deal on a car right now.
Maybe 4.
There we go. So,
so that Port Allegheny game, what happened in that game?
You know, it's weird. Do you know that it was exactly a year ago that they struggled with Ridgeway in a game? Right. Do you remember that where that game was really close too? So something about that weekend. Maybe Justin Minkowski's got to do something different on that weekend next year. I don't know. It's just an interesting, but give them credit. They found a way to win the game. And at the end of the day, my buddy Craig Butler, who used to be a student worker of mine when I worked at Clarion University and now is up at Edinburgh as their communications director in athletics, we have a saying. They don't ask you how, they ask you how many in sports, right? Like at the end of the day, and especially now even in college football where you have an actual playoff, right? At the end of the day, I don't care if I win or my team wins ugly, right? Would you rather win ugly or lose pretty?
I'd rather win ugly.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like you don't care how you win the game. They just ask you at the end of the year, if you win the last game that you play of the season and you're playing for a championship, 20 years from now, nobody's asking, well, you won that because the other team fumbled the ball and then kicked it back into the end zone and your guy fell on it.
Yeah.
Who cares, right?
You were 9-1, but 3 of them you were barely in. That doesn't happen.
No, I mean, it's so
How did Bliss do in that game?
139 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's
that's like containing him, though.
Yeah, that is like that is honest to goodness. You're 100% right. Holding that kid to 139 yards is containing him.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. We talk every week about how good he is, but yeah. So we were talking a little bit there about like play. So you're not a big like go find some place to eat when you go out on these trips.
I do like to eat, but I got so much going on that the food isn't my priority. It's trying to wrap up here because, our Friday night is you got me and Ronnie, and of course we let Ronnie go. So really our Fridays is Ronnie sitting at his desk watching film, final preparation. He usually cuts out a half hour before I do to go up early with the team. And then I'm juggling, getting my family together while I'm working, getting on the road. So it's usually Friday nights, just a quick stop at McDonald's or whatever, Dairy Queen or where you're cruising through. And then Saturday, we had that long trip. And the other side of it is I don't want to be 400 pounds. So I try to kind of watch the junk food that you're eating. But you get on the Saturday. Now I'm drawing. So Saturday was a youth game and I coached them kids. So my Saturday's really getting up and feeding animals and then going, getting ice, filling the water jugs, getting things ready. And then you're on the road to Montauk and straight from there up to, actually we packed a cooler for that because we went up to that Grove City game a little bit earlier. So we just kind of.
Who was playing up at Grove City?
It was Grove City and Washington and
Johnson. Oh, okay. So
yeah, it was their varsity game up there,
that makes sense.
I don't know if you've ever been to one of them, but it's like it was an awesome environment.
I've been to the ones over at Westminster. I've not been to a game at Grove City, but if it's similar to what, and obviously I worked at the college football, I worked in college athletics for 15 years. And, before that, I did a lot of stuff when I was an undergrad at IUP. And, as my job, every once in a while you still get out the games and stuff. But yeah, those small college games are pretty cool. I don't think people understand how cool they are.
You can walk in, they're relatively cheap. Grove City didn't even charge, but it's got like a high school environment, but better stadiums, better concessions, better bathrooms. And
let's be honest, better talent than you get at, because you're talking about the best of the best, even at Division III, you're talking the best of the best at all the high school programs.
And that game was pretty hyped up because for that packed conference, Washington Jefferson won. I don't remember the final score, 30-something to 6 maybe or something like that. But
yeah, those were two really good teams in that conference. Two teams that feel like they could have won that conference. So that's a big game.
And Grove City had I think they had a Hall of Fame induction or something. So there was a lot for that. But then afterwards, as the game was ending, they did a fireworks session too.
Okay,
so
cool.
You're standing there, fireworks are going off, all the players are out. It's just a cool environment.
Shout out to the communications, the athletic communications guy up there, a guy by the name of Ryan Briggs. He's one of the best in the business. He does with what they do, he does a great job. Ryan also does a lot of high school sports over in District 10 with the radio station over there in Mercer County, and him and Chris Birch do a game of the week every week, and those guys are just fantastic human beings and do a really great job with what they do. So but those are really fun atmospheres. We had an opportunity to do a tailgate party over at Westminster at the beginning of the year, and we've done it a couple years there now, and those guys treat us great. Kevin Fenstermaker, the athletic communications guy, and the whole athletic staff over there, and just a good time. Allegheny Grill will donate the food, and those are, and I actually think that the President's Athletic Conference as a whole, we're talking about, that's what Grove City's in, that's what W&J's in, that's what Westminster's in, Teal's also in that conference, and Waynesburg's in that conference, and that conference as a whole, I think, has a really cool atmosphere at their football games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a neat thing. We ended up, we were going to leave. I think it was 2:30. Larry and I were going to leave because I knew Larry was like, we got to go to Texas Hot. He's been going to Texas Hot since, I won't say since they started in 1914, but probably like 10 years after that. He's been, no, just kidding, Larry. But, he wanted to go there. So I knew that. So we were going to leave 2:30. Well, of course, at like 2:00, a keyboard that I had that's got like USB for one of the laptops that I take with me, of course it broke. So now I got to like go to Walmart and buy a new one right at the last second, right? Because it's never like when you have all this time on your hands, or never when you're going someplace where you're going to pass a Walmart, right? Like no Walmart between Shippensville and.
If you had the time, would you have got it though? I probably wouldn't have. I procrastinate.
If I'd had the time, I would have what?
Would you have went and got it ahead of time, or would you have waited?
No, I would have gone. Yeah, I would have definitely gone and gotten it ahead of time, just because I now I'm calling Larry. Hey, Larry, you're gonna meet me like 10 minutes later than what we said, and all that stuff going on, and I'm just it never goes as smoothly as you want it to go. It never, ever, ever goes as smoothly as you want it to go.
But you made it there.
We got there. We hadn't seen any deer on the way home. Okay, we had gotten all the way from Bradford to the other side of Lance's Corners, and we had seen one deer. And so we go through Kane, and we're going down into the Allegheny Forest. We go through Russell City. Still have only seen one deer, right? Larry goes to me, can't believe we've only seen one deer. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I looked, I'm like, what are you doing? So,
I've seen a pile.
You know what we saw after that? We saw like 20 of them after that. Like, I'm sorry, I'm superstitious, man. Don't be saying that. That's like talking about a no-hitter when a no-hitter is going on in baseball, which I heard today, unbelievably. Do you know there was no no-hitters in Major League Baseball this season?
I did not.
That's a interesting, first time since like 2005 or something, maybe. There was like, I guess 3 years in the 80s that there wasn't one, they were saying. But
so are the pitchers worse or the hitters better?
I think a no-hitter is just a fluky thing.
Yeah.
I think that I've been to a couple games that have gotten like this close to having a no-hitter throw in it, and not just major league, but even like minor league games. And just something stupid happens with an out or two outs. There was one time I was at a minor league game in Burlington, North Carolina. Burlington, North Carolina is kind of a little north of Winston-Salem, right on the Virginia border, right kind of across from Danville, Virginia. And Craig Butler, who I mentioned earlier, we're sitting there and we're watching this game. It's like lowest of low A. It was like they don't even have it anymore. Like they're now like some sort of college wooden bat league thing down there. But it's like single A short season in the Appalachian League, the old Appy League. And, the stadium is basically like going to Du Bois. Okay. Like it's nothing fancy. It's just going to like Showers Field and Du Bois. And we're sitting in the first row behind home plate. And these kids are either right out of high school or right out of college, right? They're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. And this pitcher's out there and he's this close. He's got one out to go and one strike to go for a no-hitter. And, we're up there like, yeah, come on, man, come on. It'd be cool to just see one, right? Throws a ball. And I mean, it is center cock right down the middle of the plate. Ball 2. And we're just giving it to the umpire. They're professional umpires, whatever. We're just, it's good-natured fun, but I get it. Next pitch, guy hits a home run. Game should have been over. Guy should have had his no-hitter. Next pitch, home run. So mad. Was so mad.
If you're the opposing team, do you think that batter's ever thinking like, man, should I let this guy just get this no-hitter?
No, not at all.
Never thinking that.
Not at all. Never thinking that way. There's no way they're ever thinking that way. I've come close a couple times in the majors to seeing it, but every time, like I remember in 2001, Todd Ritchie was throwing one. I think it was against Kansas City. Was like 1 or 2 outs away from it and missed it. It's a fluky thing. Things happen. Umpire, like the one I just gave an example of, umpire missed a call. I mean, we were literally right behind the plate. We could see it. He just missed the call. It happens. That kind of stuff happens all the time. Fluky stuff happens. Look at the, Penn State thought they had a fumble recovery that went way down the field right on Saturday night, and replay showed that the guy's knee barely grazed the grass. I'll still argue that that's not what replay was ever intended for.
Yeah.
That, it was
got carried away.
It was supposed to be about the massively missed stuff, not whether or not a guy slid into second base and did his pinky finger come off the bag for a second, or did a guy's knee, or how about the dumb one in the Steeler game yesterday? I mean, it's the rule, but how dumb of a rule was this? I don't know if you heard or saw about this. So the Steelers thought they had a fumble recovery for a touchdown by Jalen Ramsey. And it was ruled that the play was dead, not because the guy from the Vikings had recovered the football, but after he fumbled the football, his foot was landed out of bounds, and he touched the football, even though the football was a good 5.5 feet in bounds. Mm-hmm. The way the rule is because because he was the first guy to touch the football and the ball was he had a part of his body out of bounds. Even though he didn't actually control the football, just touch the football's out of bounds. I got to say that might be the dumbest rule of all in sports. Like, the really simple thing here is if the football isn't out of bounds, it shouldn't be out of bounds, right? Why do we have to complicate this and go, well, if the guy's standing out of bounds and he touches the ball, then the ball's out of bounds? I can almost see it if you actually possess the ball and you're standing out of bounds. Like, you pick the ball up and you're standing out of bounds. Okay, the ball's out of bounds. I could buy that because you're out of bounds. The ball's out of bounds. To just touch the ball when it's out of bounds and it's out of bounds, that's overthinking it.
Yeah. I actually seen that on another game, special play, which obviously was a good play for the awareness, but it was a kickoff.
Yes, you see that on – I've seen it on kickoffs. I'd never seen it on a play on a normal play before.
Yeah.
But it's just
that reminds me too, in that Bradford Red Bank game, did you see – I just don't remember seeing this too often, but like we had a reception and they ran it. Got pushed out of bounds. They marked the first down, and it was like we had a first down,
and then they called it back. Yeah,
marked it 2 yards short. And
I was talking to the
what
athletic.
Was happening there?
So I was talking to the athletic director with Bradford about this after the game, and what basically happened was the official threw his beanbag where the guy went out of bounds, and he threw it at the 25-yard line. But for some reason, his fellow officials thought it should have been at the 27, so they marked it up at the 27, which would have been the first down. Well, and then they moved the chains in the whole 9 yards, and then they realized, oh, whoops. The guy was like, guys, I had him out of bounds at the 25. So then they had to move it back to the 25. Well, at that point, the chains are still sitting at the 27, and nobody's caught it yet. Well, thankfully, before the play started, they all figured out that the chains needed to come back, and it wasn't a first down. It was just a missed spot from whoever was out on the field spotting it. Those things happen. It was weird. That game had a bunch of weird stuff. Like, I felt like you think about second play of the game, Bradford fumbles. You had the interception by Bradford that they then fumbled away later on. You had that game had a lot of weird stuff happening in it.
Yeah, that is even though I'm a Red Bank fan and they're the opponents, it gets to a point in the game where you're rooting for them to do something good too in them games like that. And that kid had that interception, and I thought, all right, well, they're going to get a little bit into this here, and poor kid gets hit and fumbles the ball after the interception, and Red Bank gets it right back.
Yeah, it was a weird game. Yeah. Hey, that's going to do it for us this week on Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Nolf Bites here in Fairmont City. Just talked a little bit about football, a little bit about food, a little bit about people being mean, the whole 9 yards. Ronnie then had to go sell a car to Gary Schmader from Tenesta Builder Supply.
We'll update you on that next week.
Hopefully he buys the car.
Yeah, I don't know what he's looking at. It looks like a big SUV or something.
But NolfChryslerDodge.com is the website down here. And since we're talking about Tenesta Builders, TenestaBuilders.us. So, like I said, I love it when I get to see all my advertisers doing stuff with each other. That's fantastic. I like to see that. So, well, thanks, Andy, and thanks for carrying the show here after Ronnie had to go sell a car. Until next week, folks. Chris Rossetti for Andy Byers and Ronnie Geis saying good night. Why should you choose Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City? Why wouldn't you choose them? At Nolf, their sales are speedy and include upfront and straightforward pricing. If it's service and parts you're after, they have skilled technicians who are factory trained while offering knowledgeable parts experts. Maybe you need Nolf's full-service body shop offering top-quality collision repair to all makes and models of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Or do you want to cruise the highway in a clean, shiny vehicle thanks to Nolf's detailing service? No matter your needs, Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City is there for you. Find out more at Nolf, Chrysler.